Hey gang, Dustin here with Lancaster Archery Supply. We're in our product studio and I've just finished up shooting the brand new Shrewd INDX stabilizers that I'm here to talk about today. We're really excited to show this product to you, and after shooting this and putting about half an hour behind the bow with these products set up on my Matthews Title 38, I've had a good opportunity to see how they work, see what this product is going to do for archers, and to tell you about it. So right now, we're looking at the Shrewd INDX and the Shrewd INDX Lite. These are two target stabilizer and they're new systems that Shrewd has developed. From the end caps, from the dampening system, from their proprietary beam carbon, the structure of the bar. This is totally unique and different from what Shrewd's been doing today. So going from their previous stabilizer system, the Rev X and the Revel, those were stabilizers that were different for different purposes. And now with the INDX, you're going to be able to do a lot with these two bars. The INDX Lite is going to be your 1/2 inch diameter bar. And then the INDX is going to be a 6.25 outside diameter bar. So two different ODs. The INDX is going to be for your heavier builds, for bows that want the stiffest and most rigid and stable stabilizer system. And the INDX Lite is going to be for your lighter weight builds, for your short draw builds, and for people who like a more dynamic feel on their shot. So starting off, we could start with the name of the bar is the INDX. And if we look at the end cap, their indexing system allows an archer to configure the stabilizer when it's attached to your bow or to a QD in two different, either a rigid or a dynamic configuration. So this beam carbon has got a groove in the side. So both sides of that stabilizer has a groove. And if you set your stabilizer up so the grooves are on the side, then you are going to be in the rigid configuration. If you set the INDX stabilizer up with the grooves up and down or parallel to your riser, then you're going to be in the dynamic configuration. Now this end cap has a floating stud. So the stud is a 5/16 by 24 stud. So just a really different and great product that Shrewd has come up with. So new end cap, new bar, beam carbon, standard modulus. It's laid up longitudinally, so across the length of the bar. And by going from a high mod or a premium high mod or an ultra high mod to a standard modulus carbon, what Shrewd has been able to do is they're able to build a lighter bar. And with this lighter bar and their beam carbon structure, they've been able to give us a bar that will dampen extremely well. And then they're also going to give us a bar that can be equivalent and even more rigid than their current system when you set it up in the rigid configuration. So new end caps, new rigid or dynamic, standard modulus bar, lightweight, really efficient. You know, we want bars to be light, we want them to be stiff, and that's what the shape and the layup is done. And then they've come out with also a all new, what they call their mass damper system. And the mass damper system is going to isolate tungsten weight from the stabilizer. So instead of having your damper that's just connected to the mass on the end of the bar, you have tungsten that is attached to floating rubber gaskets that is now floating around the outside of your 5/16 by 24 weight bar. So I'm going to take this apart and show you what the mass damper looks like. Here is what Shrewd calls their suspension damper. So we're just going to take that off first. And then right here is the floating system. So this is going to have floating rubber. This is a 3-ounce tungsten suspension damper. And then this is a 1-ounce tungsten suspension damper. And then each INDX stabilizer is also going to come with the factory with another 2 ounces of tungsten weights. So every INDX bar comes out of the box and you have 2 ounces of tungsten, and you have another 4 ounces of suspension damper ready to go. That's ready to rock and roll with your bar. So that's another added value that Shrewd is adding here, is that so many archers we see go and buy some type of additional product or additional damper that they're going to put on their stabilizer. Well, Shrewd has engineered something that is, you are going to shoot this bar and you are going to notice a difference in that initial kick that you feel because of all of the technology, from the end cap to the configuration of the stabilizer bar and these unique grooves, plus this mass damper system. All right, so we're just gonna put this back together, and that just clips into here, just like that. Just press it together, and then your 1 ounce can go right on top, and then this whole system just slides over your threaded rod, like that, and then this threads on. And I was able, on my back bar, I shoot 19.5 ounces regularly on my back bar, and I was able to get all my weights plus the mass damper. Well, I was able to get 19 ounces with what I had on hand with the mass damper. So everything fit on that one threaded rod, and of course you can get different threaded rods. The next thing I want to talk about is just how this index system works. Now, what Shrewd is giving us is they're giving us, this is a spare set screw. So there's a set screw that is going to hold this floating 5/16 by 24 threaded stud in place. And this is just a spare, so I'm going to put that back in there. Now, as the name of the Shrewd Index implies, they have created a unique and easy to use positioning system in their brand new end caps. The positioning system starts with numbers that have been laser engraved along the outside of the end cap, and then alternate numbers on the inside of the end cap. The 5/16 by 24 stud has a groove or a notch in it that's going to help you index or move it as you adjust the stabilizer. So you want to start, to do this correctly, you want to start with the notch in the 0 position. And you want to install your stabilizer onto your riser or onto your QD barrel nut. Now, if you're using a QD barrel nut and this is going on your back bar, what I recommend doing is making a mark on your QD barrel nut with a silver Sharpie on the side that you're threading into your stabilizer as you make these adjustments. Because if you install your QD and then put the bar on and take a reading and then make an adjustment and then turn your barrel nut and put the barrel nut on like this, that reading is going to change. So if you're using a QD barrel nut, it's important. I think the best thing to do is just mark which side. If you're using like an angled QD barrel nut, then it's really easy to tell which orientation you're putting it on. So anyway, you're going to install your QD barrel nut, install your stabilizer, and then you're going to take a reading on the outside of the stabilizer at the 12 o'clock position. So you'll install it, you'll take a reading, and you might be at the 9 o'clock position or at the number 9 position at 12 o'clock. And then you would remove the stabilizer, and to put it into the most rigid configuration, to put it with the grooves on either side perpendicular to the bow, what we would want to do is we would remove the set screw, loosen it up, and now this can rotate, and you could use the numbers on the inside of the end cap to rotate that notch to where you took your reading. Now, if you took a reading in the 12 o'clock position and you were in between two numbers, so if you were at 3.5 instead of 4, and you wanted to put this notch in the 3.5 position, you can. You're just going to have to move the set screw from the 6 o'clock whole number position to the alternate location. And that'll go all the way down. So you have 2 of these set screw positions, one at 6 o'clock and one around 5 o'clock. And the one around 5 o'clock is for the half number positions. The one in the 6 o'clock position, that is for the whole number positions. So it's really easy. Once you see how the stabilizer works, once you see how the end cap works, and you screw it onto your bow once, you're gonna say, okay, take a reading, take it off, make an adjustment on the stud, put it right back in, and the bar is gonna be in the configuration that you want. Like I said, the only caveat is if you're not going directly into the riser and you're using a QD barrel nut, mark it to make life easy on yourself, and it will be a smooth installation. So really great systems that Shrewd has launched for us, the Index and the Index Lite. I'm gonna be shooting the Index bar. I'm gonna go with that stiffer bar with the stiff configuration. I could really feel a decreased initial kick in my shot just by shooting it for a half an hour and getting the feel of the stabilizer. This mass damper that is isolating that tungsten weight really does reduce that vibration. You are gonna see these bars offered in 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, and 36-inch lengths. Those lengths are measured end cap to end cap, no weights. And those are the same lengths that are offered on the Rev X bars. So if you are shooting a previous generation of Shrewd stabilizers and you want to transfer into Index, you can do that seamlessly. The damper system, we've seen a lot of archers, again, shoot aftermarket stuff once they built their stabilizers to get the feel of their bars. And now you have this ability to shoot either dynamic, a bar that's gonna give you some feedback that you wanna feel, or a rigid stabilizer that's gonna give you the most stable, least amount of post-shot kick that you could get. So great products from our partners over at Shrewd. I hope you like this video. If you do, be sure and give us a thumbs up. If you wanna see more content like this, subscribe across all of our channels, ring the bell so you receive notifications when we put out new videos just like this one. And if you have questions about this product or any others, be sure and visit us at lancasterarchery.com.